Good morning, class. Today we want to learn about wine. And first we want to see the definition of the wine. Wine is an alcoholic beverage obtained from the fermentation of the juice of a freshly gathered grapes. The fermentation takes place in the district of origin, that is according to the local tradition and practices. Only relatively small area of the world is wine producing. It is produced under the climatic conditions, which is found in two main wine producing zones that lies between the latitude of 30 and 50, north and south of the equator. France and Italy produces the most wine. Italy being the largest being the France, and the Italy being the next largest producing. We also have USA producing the wine and any other part of the world. But the largest amount we get it from the France and Italy. Wine is made from the grapes. The grape consists of a number of elements, that is the skin, the stalk, the pip, the pulp. When we talk about the skin, we are talking about the outside of the grape. That skin produces the color, that is the tannin and the color, that determines either it is a white grape, a white wine, or a red wine. Also in the skin, it provides the yeast that is required for the fermentation process. Therefore, a red wine is made from the red grape and the white wine is made from the white grape. And the red grape and the red grape will also provide the white wine, provided that the red grape skin is removed. Because we've also learned that the skin is the one that produces the color. So if we remove the skin from the red grape, it can produce a white wine. Factors that influences the quality and the final taste of the wine. Wine can be influenced by the climate and the microclimate, the nature of the soil and subsoil, the vine family and grape species, method of cultivation, which in other words we call it viticulture, the composition of the grape. We also have the aging and the maturity process, the method of shipping and transaction, storage temperature, method of wine making, which is vinification, yeast, and fermentation. These are the factors that we look about when we want to determine the quality of the final taste of the wine. Mark you that the same wine can be produced in different countries, but it is tasting differently. The reason being the factors of that country that produces the wine. We've said that it is affected by the climate, and different countries have different climatic zone. They have different nature of soil, and that is the reason why it has different taste, different characteristics of wine from different countries, but it is the same wine. Vine can be affected by the diseases and pests. The vine is subjected to the pests and diseases in form of the birds, insects, fungi, viruses, and weeds. An example is Polylocerac fastratric. I believe that's how to pronounce it. I don't know. It is a loose, almost invisible alpid which attacks the roots of the vine. We also have another one called the grey rot and Polyurethras gris, which is a fungi and attacks the leaves and the fruits of the vine. during the warm weather. This imparts the unpleasant flavor to the wine. We also have another one called the noble rot or Polyuretus noble. It is the same as the fungi in the beneficent form, which occurs when arid condition followed by the hot weather. It punches the crepe skin, the water level evaporates, and the crepe shrive, thus concentrating on the sugar inside. Those are the best and diseases that affected the vine. The moment the vine is affected, the quality of the wine that we produce will also be affected. So we, as the wine producing countries, they take so much consideration on the soil so that they may eradicate the diseases before it ruins the wine. Now let us look at the fault in wine. We're talking of the fault when the wine doesn't taste the same way we wanted it to taste, or it doesn't produce the same texture that is required of that wine. That's when we'll say the wine is at fault. A fault occurs occasionally in wine as it matures in the bottle. But through the improved techniques and attention to the details regarding the bottling and storage, faulty wines rarely occurs nowadays. In most cases, wines are stored for a very long period of time, as the saying goes that the longer the wine or the older the wine, the sweeter it becomes. So the wine that has been stored for a longer time tastes better and sweeter. And we need to look at the fault so that we know how to store those wine to retain the quality of the same wine. What are the causes of this fault? The fault in wine. Number one, it is the core wine, which are affected by the disease core through the bacteria. We're talking about the core that is used to close the wine. That is what we call the core, and that if it is affected, it also affects the wine. And we've said that it is mostly affected by the bacteria. We also have another cause, which is moderation or oxidization. This is caused by bad storage, leading to too much exposure to air because of the core has dried up. Meaning that if the core is already affected by the bacteria, and if the wine, when you're storing the wine, you store it when it is landing. So if it is not slanted, then it means the core will dry up, and when it dry up, it will cause what we call oxidation, which will lead to too much exposure of air to the wine, which will affect the taste and the quality of that wine. We also have another one called cloudiness, which is caused by the suspended materials in the wine, which discusses its true color. It may be caused by extreme in storage temperature. When you talk about the extreme storage temperature, if the wine is supposed to be stored chilled, or if the wine is supposed to be in the room temperature, if it exceeds that one, that is when it will cause the cloudiness in the wine that will tamper with the quality of that wine. And the last one is what we call hydrogen sulfide, which is H2S. This one is where the wine smell and tasted of a rotten egg and should be thrown away. Those are the causes, the common causes of fault in wine. When we learn more about the causes of the fault in wine, you will know how to store your wine, and you will know what is the required. Talk about the required temperature, talk about the required storage, or the shelves that is required for the storage of the wine, for you to retain the quality of the wine. wine is so much valued by the customer. Most customers value their wine so much, and that is the reason why we have to maintain the quality, so that we maintain or retain the satisfaction of the customers while serving the wine. And that marks the end of our today's lesson. And unless someone has a question, so if there is no question, see you in the next class. Bye.